Burns now with a cross. This is Vernon! Vernon scores! Grimsby Town is over! Utter delirium at Blundell Park! Charles Vernon! Delivered, far post, touchdown!
Penalty, great composure. Brian Mbeumo, he doesn't miss, does he?
The customary short run up for Brian Mbeumo. Stuttering run up, and here's the crossbar! Manchester United are out! Brian Mbeumo has rattled the crossbar!
This is TNT Sports' Adam Summerton, and you're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
Hello, welcome to this week's Three Fish on the Shirt. It's Easter. Happy Easter to all our listeners and watchers. It's great to have you along for Easter. Rossi is here. I think he dared show his face in the way he is doing. And Steve showing a bit of dignity for the pod in the bottom there. Welcome, lads.
I'm at the top.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you too.
Happy Easter, Rossi. I see you're really well and truly in the spirit.
That's what happens when you've got a nearly 1-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And
you've
she's
won.
got the same.
And you've won 2-0.
And that, yeah.
So we've got a couple of games to cover. We've got the whole Easter weekend to pick up on this week. We've had a lot of content out recently, so we thought we'd do Easter weekend all in one. Although we might want to rush Friday's review. Obviously, before we kick off, we want to just say thank you once more to our sponsor, Winner Chicken Dinner, who are a competitions company. If you look them up on www.winnerchickendinner.co.uk, you can see their master stroke of a prize at the moment is a house worth £275,000 or the cash equivalent, and that's $3.99. So have a look at Winner Chicken Dinner and their competitions. There's some great competitions on their page, and thanks to them. If you don't already subscribe on YouTube, please do. It helps us massively, and it helps you get notified when we're out with more fantastic content. And more fantastic content we've got for you today. We've got a review of the Easter weekend games, and we've got a special kick-off of one of our interviews. We've got none other than Lenell John-Lewis, the shop, who joins us for the first part of a 2-part interview we've done with him recently. So look forward to that. Ready to pick up Easter, guys?
I can't wait.
Can't wait.
Yeah, forget Friday.
So Friday, we're against Harrogate. Start of the game, or prior to the game. I love Easter matches because I don't know, I just get that feel. The weather's getting a bit better. Although Storm Dave was threatening, didn't manage to make his way in till Saturday. But always like that. But I wasn't confident. I wasn't massively for some reason. I wasn't feeling it, and it appears neither were the players. Town went down 3-1. Bit of a capitulation to bottom of the table Harrogate. Rossi, what did you make of it? What was your thoughts?
Just didn't turn up, did they? Yeah, I don't know what it was. There's no passing. There was just no teamwork, was there? It was I don't know, it's one of them where you think they've had 2 weeks off or a week off, where it is, and I think it hampered them. They were still on holiday, still away, doing whatever they were doing. I know a couple of players were in Barcelona whilst they were off duty. Kabir and Mauzor and I think a few others went to watch Barcelona. So, they've gone and done that. I think Walker and Cookie, I know Cookie went back to Bradford and spent some time that way. Walker, I think, did the same. So whether or not it's done any good or not is a different story, but I don't think it did. I think they just thought it'd be an easy game because Harrogate are near the bottom, not realising they're battling for their lives and they're going to be up for it. And Harrogate showed us what team's all about.
I think for me, the only other time we've let the players have time off between matches was Barrow last year, and we got hammered 3-0 at their place when they didn't look anything special and we were bloody awful. Whilst we sort of dominated possession and had shots, you never felt we were really effective.
No.
Steve, how did you see it?
I just thought we were just terrible. I thought Harrogate were good. I thought their forwards ran us ragged a bit.
And the effort they put
pace.
in, they chased everything.
The
Didn't
effort.
they?
Yeah. You just wonder where that's come from, Harrogate. But we didn't deserve anything out of the game. Even when we got the goal back, I thought even that, and then of course the penalty miss, and that would have changed the game. But no, I thought we were just poor. And you got to question this whether we should have had the break. I know it's hindsight, but we were flying, weren't we, momentum wise? And you miss the 2 weeks and you come back like that.
Yeah, so just picking up the first half then and just sort of dissecting it a little bit. Town were well on top for the first 10, 15 minutes. I think we had a shot in the first 20 seconds, which only just whistled past the post from Cabia.
Yeah.
But it was Harrogate on 21 minutes. Who kind of got into Town's box pretty much unimpeded. And basically, great curling finish from...
Good finish.
About from penalty spot, wide on the left, penalty spot, distance into the box, on the left-hand side of the box. Beautiful finish off the post. And you'd have thought that would have woken Town up, wouldn't you? I didn't see it straight away.
No. It just seemed to be like, all right, guys, it's scored. Let's try again.
Yeah.
We're not going to try and put an effort in, though. We'll just gradually get into the game.
Then we got caught pushing forward a bit more. They broke through quick again. And Jack Evans got into the box and did a very similar thing to the other guys, a bit more of a direct finish this time, but scored his first goal in league in Harrogate colours. So he's never scored before. They've only scored 32 goals all season now, and they scored 6 of them against us. So they are a proper bogey team for us, aren't they?
Oh, proper bogey team. We just can't beat them, can we? We've
beaten them once in 10 outings.
Yeah, well, that's ridiculous. Bloody Harrogate, for God's sake. But they did all the 3 shots they had on target, and that was it, wasn't it? 3 goals.
Yeah, so we're 2-0 down. McJanet lumps the ball forward, and that's one thing that got me Fridays. I thought we lumped the ball far too often. We just looked like we didn't have a clue. We didn't play quickly. McJanet lumped the ball forward. I said to Steve, hey, what's that?
What we're doing that for? And then I said, because Greenie.
I wasn't the only one, though. And Greenie, in fairness to Greenie, did really well to anticipate and see it held up in the wind and got on the end of it. And that kind of felt like it undeservedly got us back into it. Did you feel the same, Ross?
Yeah, I thought, regardless of the goals, well, even the Harrogate goals, like the first goal that you say about, it's come from the left and almost really challenging. Reece Smith is probably one of the best players at Harrogate at the moment this season. Youngster for them, he ran down that wing like no one stopping. He turned Rodgers into a pretzel inside out, and he was on his arse nearly by the time he finished with him. That was probably the first goal problem. Second goal, Jacko did actually get hands to it and just hit the post and still went in. And then obviously we got our goal, and then you think, like I say, you've got a bit of momentum maybe going into it. You crack on now and try and get at least a draw, and then if you do get into 2-2 situation, then push for another one. But I was up for it. I thought we played well after that.
Burnsy got in the box for a penalty. Got booked for it. Did you see that closer than we did? It looked like a bit of a dive from our end.
It was a dive, yeah. I don't know why he's gone down. Well, I do know why he's gone down, because every time he gets fucking touched, he goes down.
Yeah.
So, that wasn't given. Yellow card, so it sounds like the correct thing. We thought it was. 1 or 2 round us thought it was a penalty.
David Artell thought it was a penalty, didn't he?
Yeah. Anyway, similar thing happens just before half time. Walker driving across the edge of the box, gets brought down, penalty, and you think if we go in 2-2 here, that is pretty undeserved, and 2, this could kill them off completely. They've got 2-0 in front. You think, we're saving ourselves here. Harrogate, who are struggling at the bottom, obviously. And as to go 2-2, you think, right, second half, we can just tear them apart and it'll be a rugby score. But Cookie, who picked the ball off Caber, I don't know if that was a bit of kidology to have the keeper wondering who was going to take it, but placed a penalty, which you just imagine Cookie's a bit more direct than that and a bit more, let's have it, ram it in penalty. And it was just a nothing penalty, wasn't it? It was awful. Steve?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't think it was that bad of a penalty. I thought he's placed it well. It's going in the bottom corner.
Yeah.
Whether or not he maybe should have got a bit more power on it, then maybe so. But I still think the keeper made a good save. But I don't know if you noticed, before he's actually gone to took the penalty, the keeper's already off his line.
Right,
And the liner and the ref are there, and they don't flag him for it. He's already literally got into position to go to dive before Cook's even struck the ball yet. So,
which says Cook should have put it the other side then.
It doesn't help you.
They were all encroaching in the penalty area as well. So I thought, should have been retaken. But why Cookie took it?
It wasn't the reason we lost, but that's every player who's taken a penalty this year has missed one. And I saw yesterday a stat that we're about the third highest penalty scorers in the league. So,
I saw that, yeah.
Never mind how many we've missed. We must have missed more than we've scored.
What was it? We've had 9 penalties or something this season.
Yeah, well, that's probably just league, isn't it? But we've missed half a dozen.
Yeah, league, yeah.
Anyway.
I just think if we scored them penalties, what points we might have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just...
Yeah. Ifs and ands were pots and pans, you've got to put it away. And that's been, one of the weaknesses of this season. So we go in 2-1 down. And I still think that's a decent position for us to be in to attack the pontoon second half. But I don't know about you guys, but I just felt like we huffed and puffed, but that was about it. I didn't really think we did enough we certainly obviously didn't do enough to break them down and get a goal. But it never looked like it really. It was never really that danger.
Well, Walker had that chance, didn't he? And he hit it straight at the keeper.
Yeah, blasted it, yeah.
Yeah, and the keeper did fairly well. Well, he did well on that, but that's the only chance I can
soon
remember.
Bell took an air swipe at one on the line, more or less.
Oh, yeah.
That was just laughable. It was like Keystone Cops in there.
I know. We saw that effort from Susan Bell. Levi was obviously sat behind me, and he goes, "Right, it's not our day, is it?"
Yeah.
Like, no.
Well, we knew that when you turned up, Levi, as predicted by me. If you remember.
Yeah.
I told him at the fan zone, "You're bad."
Yeah, it was just we didn't really create anything apart from the Walker shot. I can remember. The rest of them was just didn't really test the keeper. I think Greeny got down the side, Cookie got down the side. We just wasn't going to be our day, was it?
I didn't think we played pretty well. I got somebody who picked me up on it online and said, "Oh, we weren't crap." Oh, I thought we were. Sorry,
we weren't great.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were crap, but we everything was trying, just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And
I actually thought for the first time though, I thought David Artell's assessment of the game was, rather than an proper assessment of the game, was more of a protection of the players on Saturday.
I do think it would have been a different story if he was on the sideline anyway. I think if he was on the sideline, we might have got more out of the players. Sean seemed very reserved on the side of the pitch.
Yeah.
Friday. He wasn't given as much as he would if David Artell was next to him. And you had Ray as well, obviously part of the staff team, and he was giving orders because he had David in his ear. So yeah, I think that doesn't help at all. Obviously, we didn't have Artell today either, and that was a different scoreline. Let's get to that in a minute, but I don't know. It's just one of them games. Like I say, Harrogate, we always know we're going to struggle against Harrogate. It's nothing new. Same old.
Hopefully we won't be struggling against them next season for more than a number of reasons. One, they go down, and two, that we go up, even if they don't go down. Big crowd in, 7911.
All the crowd, yeah.
What do you make of this theory that big crowd equals we shit ourselves?
Nah. People say it, but
in league games we do though. We seem to.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. We see. Man United was different because obviously
it's a different thing. Pressure's not on us, When the pressure's on us and we've got a big crowd, that's when it seems to be.
I think even when the pressure is on us without a crowd, it always happens to Grimsby. Whenever we've got something going on in the league, we're either away from relegation or we're getting in the playoffs or anything like that. They just always seem to crumble. We know we need this win, but we never get that win because something in the back of their heads, I'm guessing, is just tells us it's just not going to happen.
There's this other thing. People think we struggle against lower teams in the league, and we do better against the ones higher up. But I know we beat Barrow 5-0, but we do tend to struggle against these little teams when we need to win. When we're desperate to get the 3 points, because at the minute I think we're just where we are in the league. We're just maybe 3-4 points short of what we could have, where we need to be to get promotion or playoffs.
Well, that left us in sort of 11th spot, I think, after the match on Saturday, didn't it? And in so doing, probably as low as we've been for a while, and the fact that was an opportunity for us to really stamp home our authority on 7th place, or been a real big contender for it.
I say we just seem to get to that place where we win it, and we're really in there, and then we lose. Yeah,
and I think we all went away from that defeat thinking massive missed opportunity there to really ramp it forward. There were some half decent results on Saturday though. Crewe were beaten at Accrington. Accrington 2, Crewe 0. Bromley and Barnet drew with each other, so that helped us a little bit with Barnet not getting too many points. Although that was a Bromley goal in the 90 plus 11th minute, wasn't it, or something like that? Yeah. Talking of which, did you see the first goal of Bromley's where he more or less had the defender's shirt off over his head?
Yeah. And he still counted.
Still counted.
Mental.
Mad. Bristol Rovers 1, Fleetwood 0. Chesterfield 1, Cheltenham 0, so that kept the pressure on us. Chesterfield are having a bit of a run now, so...
they're winning 1-0,
we could have done with playing them, as you said, Steve, when they were crap. Colchester 1, Oldham 3. We could have done with Colchester, at least getting a draw there. We got beat 1-3. MK Dons 0, Barrow 0. MK Dons don't want to win the title. That's from Friday even. Newport 0, Crawley 2. Crawley having a reasonable spell under new manager Colin Kazim-Richards. Salford 2, Notts 1. Salford doing well when we don't want them to. And badly when we do want them to. Shrewsbury 1, Tranmere 0. Tranmere circling the drain still, as I described earlier in the season. Walsall 2, Gillingham 2. And on Thursday night, Cambridge 1, Swindon 1. So, table, say, had us in sort of 11th. And a very despondent fan base, but quite a bit of time to reflect over the weekend. But in match terms, an opportunity to get it out of the system quite quickly with an away game against another struggling team on Monday, which is Crawley. So, do you think prior to knowing today's result, do you think that was a good thing that we've got another game really quickly at Easter to get it out of our system and try and win?
Yes and no.
It is what it is.
It depends, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It always depends on the situation and where the players' minds are at. I think if we just lost Harrogate, is it going to go? Oh, okay, we're going to have a bit of anxiety in the back of our heads, thinking, "Oh, Crawley are down there as well. That means we're going to lose to them." But the boys needed to come out and put on a decent shift and try and beat them.
And what was your thoughts ahead of the Crawley game? That the outcome would be, Steve?
Well, I thought it was a must-win game today. I don't like that term, to be honest, but if we had lost today, I think the playoffs would have been gone.
Not mathematically, but in reality, realistic.
And questions would have been starting to be asked about the break and that, and so we had to win, and we did, which was.
Yeah, and say as you said that break.
Decent performance.
Yeah, the only other time we've had a break of late is before the Barrow away game last year, and we came out of that one 3-0. Didn't run around, didn't look anything, and really suffered. I wonder if David Artell's now twice bitten. There'll be a different programme next time there's a gap.
Yeah, I think it must be a close thing to decide. because there's only Churi really that we probably would have played. The other ones.
Adore did. He did start Adore in another game. He had 2 games while he was out.
Yeah.
Right.
He didn't play in the first game, but he actually started in the second game. And obviously Tory did well, and then soon took Bell. I think they only had 1 game with soon took Bell, but I did watch. Believe it or not, I actually did watch that game.
He came on late on, didn't he?
I think his name.
Yeah, Turkmenistan. Did he come on late on?
Yeah, about 70-odd minute he come on and did a shift, and that was about it.
So, were you expecting any changes ahead of today's game at Crawley from Saturday?
I thought he might have put Bell up front to that because he's changed it now, hasn't he? I don't know. I thought he might have give Cookie a rest after Friday's, because he didn't look great on Friday, Cookie, but he didn't. So,
I saw a lot of calls for Amazulor to come in for Burns.
What's his name again?
Amalazor. That's what he's called.
Burns.
So you did the first time you was Amazulazor or something like that.
Amazulazar.
Yeah, I think he's got that many names.
Justin.
People could pronounce it differently. Yeah, Justin. Let's say Justin. Yeah, he needs to start. I can't be asked for Burns anymore.
Well, let's not get too high ahead of us today, but yeah, his end product is virtually 0. He gets a few assists, but he just looks not very neither end of there, is he? So yeah, that was the only real change I was expecting. We'll come back to today's game, the Easter Monday clash away at Crawley in a minute. First up, though, the first part of our chat with Lenell John-Lewis, aka Lenny, aka The Shop. I have to say, chaps, what a pleasure it was to have him, and what a delight it was to deal with. It was great, wasn't he?
He was a very good guest, and his knowledge, as he admitted, this was not quite as good as what it could be, but he did well.
He claimed not to have Podge-like memory, didn't he? But
he's nowhere near Podge.
Really good. Well, you'll get to see how good he was now as we pick up the first part of his interview after this short break.
We are proud to announce the latest Winner Winner Chicken Dinner home, and it's right here in Grimsby. A beautiful 5-bedroom house in a fantastic location, ready for one lucky winner to call home.
Welcome back. We've got a very special guest with us this afternoon. It's none other than Lenell John-Lewis. Lenny, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Dave. How are you?
Yeah, great. Thanks for joining us. Much appreciate you coming along. So you're back with your old mucker of a boss, Paul Hurst, at the minute at Boston. How's it going there at the moment?
Yeah, it's going good. Yeah, I'll say he's back with me this time.
Oh, is that right?
I was there first this time. Yeah, so he's come and joined me this time.
That's fair enough.
No, it's going good. Obviously, he's come in. He's done a great job in turning things around and got us in a pretty stable place in the league. So just the last run in now to go.
Good to see that. I think we were talking with Ben Chapman recently, a former Mariner, about Boston. He was a captain at Boston for a few years after he left town, and it's because we've never been sort of big rivals in the same league. A lot of times, sort of a lot of fondness between the two clubs and fans. There's no sort of real sort of rivalry or aggravation. So I think it's always nice to see Boston doing well and to see them struggling and some ex-Mariners in there helping pick it up. And there's a few of you we'd like to add as well, isn't there?
Just mentioned the Scunthorpe result was good. Was that 6-3, was it?
Yeah, that was
a tennis game.
Yeah,
I'm actually gutted I wasn't part of that, I'll be honest. But yeah, it was a great result for us.
Yeah, we enjoyed it. So we didn't even see it, but we were enjoying it.
Yeah, we looked at it and said, "Is that the first set?"
So nice to see that. And so Paul's back with you now. has he changed his style much since you last hooked up with him? Is he still the same Hursty?
He's still the same Hursty, yeah. It's actually been quite weird actually, because I said to my wife, it's like just deja vu, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, with both of them, obviously I know Doigy well as well, so
yeah,
it is like deja vu. But they know what they're doing. They're good at it. And it's like I say, it's good to see the lads responding and taking it on.
Yeah, excellent. So you're born in Hammersmith, is that right? Got that?
Yeah, Hammersmith in London.
But most of your football's been northern based. So where did the change come in? Did you move north as a young'un, or?
Yeah, so I moved out of London when I was 13 with my dad, and we moved to Newark. So I went to school in Newark, played football and just playing with my mates, to be honest. And then I've never looked back after going to Grimsby Town as a 16-year-old. Never looked back really. I never even thought about going down south, to be honest.
So that explains why you started in the sort of Grantham Lincoln area, which makes sense now. And Steve's got a quick question for you about something that I guess has followed you throughout your career.
It's just your nickname, the shop. Do you like it, or is it?
Yeah.
When did it originate? Was it?
So it was when I was at Bury, a gentleman which I did meet at the time, after probably when it started to come out. I think it was the following season. Bury kind of made a thing about it themselves, but it started there, and he thought of it, so to speak, and we had a little campaign T-shirts and stuff like that at the time. But it's just, I don't know if it's testament to his song or testament to me, where it's just literally followed me every club and every ground that I seem to go. Away fans seem to sing it as well. So it's I do love it. I do love it. Yeah,
that's great. The same song. It's the same sort of song.
For the last 15, 16
I thought we made it
up.
we can dream, can't we? No, it's nice that it's a unique little thing. There's not many. I mean, everybody has nicknames, but it's sort of a little unique twist, isn't it, on things? And I noticed when Grimsby Town did the Christmas message, there was a very much John-Lewis themed advert went out with you as Lloyd Griffiths' present under the tree. How did that come about?
Yeah, he had the idea. It's all down to Lloyd, to be fair. He had the idea and approached me with it and the club, and I was more than game. I like doing stuff like that. It's funny. And then I think the only part that I had saying or any type of influence was literally me sat underneath the Christmas tree with the bow in my head, and it's the one thing that everyone comes back to me with.
I was going to say the one thing that you would hope that wasn't forced on you was that. So if that was your twist, you can own it, can't you? It made the video. I'll be honest. I rewatched it last night in preparation to this, and I'd forgotten about it until yesterday, and I thought I must ask him about that, because Lloyd's been a great supporter and promoter of the club as well, hasn't he, over time?
Yeah, he has. He really has. And I speak to him every now and again.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's doing brilliant as well for himself, to be fair.
Yeah, no, it's good that we've got people who are prominent, because he wastes no opportunity to talk about Grimsby Town when he's on Hawksby and Jacobs on TalkSport or wherever. So no, excellent. Definitely wanted to ask you about that. So you went on to Grantham and then Lincoln. So how much did you play for Lincoln? Because I don't think I was aware that you played for Lincoln prior to being at Bury. So how long were you at Lincoln?
Yeah. So I did my youth career there. So I went to college in Lincoln at 16, and then that 16 to 17 year, I went on a few trials through that year, Middlesbrough, Cardiff and Lincoln being one. Grant Brown was the captain of Grantham Town at the time and youth team manager at Lincoln. So that's where he spotted me, and that's where the connection came. So went into Lincoln as a youth team, and then I signed my pro at, I think, 18. Just turned 18 because I signed my YT a year late. And then, so signed for pro at 18 under Peter Jackson. And then I think I was there for probably 2 more years before I left. Probably just under 100 appearances maybe. Left and right wing, which I fully enjoyed. That was nice, yeah.
Peter Jackson made his name Bradford, didn't he, getting them up the leagues? What was he like as a manager at Lincoln?
He was quality, yeah. he was brilliant. He was brilliant with the young lads as well. Obviously, I was young at the time.
Yeah.
Experienced manager, but he was a character, an absolute character. Loved his red wine, and if you wanted anything, a red wine was for him. But yeah, he's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, because I'd say you don't hear about some of these people. They're about for a while, and then I know he went for a number of clubs, and but I certainly remember him doing well at Bradford. And how did the move to Bury come about? How did you end up leaving Lincoln? What was the story there?
Yeah, so I contract was coming to an end. Actually, no, I'll tell a lie. Sorry, it wasn't. I had another year left, and Chris Sutton came in as manager, and then wanted to change things up. So we agreed a pay up and for me to leave, and then my agent at the time spoke to Alan Neil at Bury, and he was keen for me to come in and have a trial. And that went well. Signed pretty much straight away, to be honest. And then kicked on at Bury.
So that's Alan Neil of later of Scunthorpe United, I guess. Is that the same guy?
Yeah.
And then from Bury, that's where you picked up the shop tag, and that's stayed with you since then. How long were you at Bury for? What was the? I
think again that was 2.5 years. Coincidentally, most of my clubs have been about 2.5 years spells. Yeah. So that was 2.5 years. Yeah. Promotion in the first year, which was surreal. So early on in my career, loved it. Really enjoyed it. Went into League One, played the next year and a half, and that's when Kevin Blackwell came in just before I left. And I think Hursty had been on me for a while, trying to sign me. I didn't really want to make the move at the time. Yeah. I was happy I was playing. And then I started to get a little inkling of things happening at Bury in terms of money wise, etc.
I was going to ask if that started before then, because I know they had some severe troubles, didn't they? Well documented troubles now. It's always difficult to sort of gauge sometimes when things started and when you were there, sort of thing. So you started to pick that up.
Yeah. It had started, and then coincidentally when I left, I think it did get taken over and a lot of money was pumped in, and I think it got a bit worse, to be honest, and that's when they obviously ended up having to fold, unfortunately. But I just felt like it was time for a bit of a change in that January, and coming to the Mariners was the right place.
Yeah, what did you know about Town before you came across? What was your view?
Not too much, I'll be honest. Yeah, not too much. I knew the manager wanted me to come in and play. And I think as a player, that's probably the biggest thing. Having someone who believes in you and wanting to play. So the contract worked for me, and I just wanted to come and play.
So did from memory, and I know you said your memory's maybe not the best, but
I'm doing well, to be fair.
I know you're doing great. You joined us mid-season, that first season. Is that right?
Yeah, in the January. Yeah, I think it was it deadline day? I'm not sure, but it was in the January.
Yeah, I thought it was, and so you sort of the back half of the season. It wasn't until sort of back into the season we're already safe into the playoffs, finished fourth. And it's a difficult time for Grimsby, that, because we're starting to have been in the National League for quite some time at that point, and wanting to get out. And as we know from other clubs and Town, that it's a notoriously difficult place to get out of. But you started scoring the goals, and once you got into the second season, you were firing, and your goal tally just improved right the way through your time at Town to your career best in the last season with us, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did. I think the first season was that 6 months, 4 or 5 months was adjustment. And to be fair, the lads were doing well. Cookie, I rate Cookie highly. Obviously, he's just come back, but he was doing well. He was scoring, and it was tough to probably get consistency in the team. Yeah. But that next season, I felt comfortable around everyone and around the place, and knew what the manager wanted, and things just seemed to work at that time.
Yeah. And have you got any sort of memorable games from the first couple of seasons? I know there was you started off the second season with some goals in the cup against Guiseley, notably. You got amongst the FA Cup goals. Does that ring any bells?
No, see, this is where you might.
I'll get the footage out. I've definitely seen the footage. So yeah, no, there was a couple of goals in October in the cup, and then in the league you really picked up after that, scoring against Braintree, Dartford when we beat them 5-2. You scored at Scunny as well. I think that might have been a league. That must have been a cup match as well.
I remember the Scunny one.
Yeah,
I do remember the Scunny
one.
Yeah.
How could you forget as a Grimsby Town?
Oh, yeah, no, I remember the
going against Scunny. Do you notice the rivalries of play? I know you know because you're not necessarily sort of from the area like we are, and the Scunny fans are. How do the players cope with that sort of derby edge to a game, and because it's not yours, do you notice it? Do you feel it?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, because everything ramps up around the town. You hear, I wouldn't say whispers, but obviously there is lads from town and living in town as well. So it's they might speak to fans and etc. And then especially on game day when it's a lot busier, you know it's a game to get up for, and it's one that you really want to win, and the manager installs that as well, to be fair.
Yeah. So, I mean, we notice as fans, and some days there's a flat but reasonable atmosphere. On them sort of days, there's that kind of something you can't put your finger on, that electricity in the air. That how do you keep yourself calm as a player in that scenario so you don't go around charging around and not playing to your best? How do you find that?
It's funny you ask that, because I might be the wrong person to ask, because I do remember getting sent off against Lincoln. I think it was.
I wasn't fishing, honest. So we sing well.
2 yellow cards in that derby. I'm sure it was against Lincoln. But it's just you've got a training pitch, and you're trying to take everything from the training pitch into the game as much as possible, because you do know they are heightened games, and any little mistakes you can end up getting sent off or something like that.
Yeah, and it's happened to players. It happens, a lot of the time, in terms of where that kind of thing takes over. Stephen Gerrard was a great example of that in the Liverpool Man United, wasn't he? But he lasted about 5 seconds on it. Charged in, took somebody out. So by the end of that season, you're firing, and the last season, 2014-15 season, you get 20 goals, which is something that we've not seen from many Mariners strikers over the years, and that's your best, I believe, from looking into your career, and that finished pretty much at Wembley that season. Had some really good wins that year in August, that final season, and again these are games you probably might remember. Actually, you beat Gateshead away 6-1 and Alfreton 7-0 at home in 2 consecutive games. 13 goals, of which you got 3 of them. What do you remember about those games?
I remember the Gateshead one more, because I scored 2, if I remember rightly.
You did, well done.
I forgot about the Alfreton one, actually, the next game.
Yeah, you got one the next game. 13 in 2 games. We're town fans are just like, well, this is how it should always be. No, we must have started on a house on fire. But I do remember the Gateshead game for sure, and it just I remember, if I'm right, the season before, had we played them in the playoffs?
Playoff semi, and we had 2 players sent off.
And didn't Macca throw one in that one? Was that the one Macca threw one?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
We asked him about that actually last week. We like to get our elbows in where angels fear to tread, but. No, we were asking him about how difficult it is for keepers, weren't we? In fairness,
so it was a bit of a revenge game, that 6-1.
Yeah,
I feel like it was as well. So early on into the season, and once you get 2 or 3, and I think it felt like we'd worked out, because if I remember rightly, they would play out from the back, and I think we got the press right, and we caught them a couple of times from that. So it was kind of a revenge game, to be fair.
Yeah. And then in the next away game at Dartford, I think we were 1-0 down. You scored a penalty to level it up, and I've seen some fan footage from the crowd of a relief. And then pretty much you're scoring consistently throughout the season. How important is rhythm for a striker and getting a goal here and there every now and again just to keep it going? How does that work for a striker? And how bad is it when you have a gap?
Yeah, no, I think the biggest thing from that season was I was fit for probably most of the season, which always helps. And then I had the backing of the manager as well.
Yeah.
I was playing, scoring, but if I was 1 or 2, 3 games I didn't score, he kind of stuck by me. And having that confidence, knowing that I could go into a game and still try and get the goal and still try and make the difference was important. And like I said, being fit and playing regularly really, really helped in terms of getting the goals for sure.
Yeah, understood. And like I say, you we work through the season. We get through the to the playoffs. You score in the first game of the playoffs when we beat Eastleigh 3-0 at home, and then we beat them 2-1 away. And you're heading to Wembley. Had you been to Wembley before as a player at that point?
Did we go the year before?
No, it was Eastleigh knocked us out, didn't they? Did you go as a?
Did we go in the cup?
Yeah, did you go in the trophy?
We played Wrexham
in the FA
in
Trophy
2013.
Yeah, and I didn't come on, so that was the first season I started, and I actually thought I was going to start, and I think the gaffer went with the lads who'd obviously played in the cup and been there all season and done well. So it was very pleasing to obviously get there that season and know that I was playing for sure. It's where my nan lives, and I grew up like half an hour away. My cousins live in Wembley, so it was a real special moment.
So you had a few requests for tickets that day then?
Yeah, but if you've been to it's hard to get tickets for Wembley. For sure.
Have you ever played in a National League game with 55,000 people there before?
I haven't, and I talk about it to this day.
Yeah, no.
I talk about it to this day.
It's incredible, isn't it? I mean, only in this country would that happen, and it's interesting. There's a lot of interest in that from the international space, and it gets off to a great start for you as well. Could you ask for any better opening minute or two at Wembley?
No, not at all. Obviously, the rebound, Nate's done unbelievable, and then the rebound just kind of hitting me, to be honest, and it going in, but it was kind of a continuation of the season, and things were falling for me that season. So get
in the right spot,
hitting the right spot, and being in the right place. Yeah, and I'll be honest, I did think we was going to do it. I really did.
Yeah, I think we all did. I think we were the better side for much of the game, if I remember rightly. What do you remember about the game? What do you remember about the first few minutes? Is it a bit surreal or?
It is surreal without video footage, and me being able to watch it back. And I've never actually watched the whole game back, and it took me a good while to watch even like that goal that I scored and then the penalties, etc., to watch that back. But it is surreal. Without watching it back, I can't. Again, I probably wouldn't have remembered because you're just in that moment, and it's difficult to explain. And I know lads that play and they can literally remember everything that happens in a game. I can't do that. I think once I'm playing, I'm kind of tuned in, and after the game, it's like, unless I watch it back, I really have to tune in to kind of remember what actually happened in the game. It's a weird one.
We can tell people are different because we've had
Patrick Hammond.
You were going to say, you're the person who came after you, Podge Hammond. He can remember everything about everything. Everybody's career, and he can tell you it all as well, which is why
he even remembered the linesman, didn't he, from the Braintree game?
His episode we could have serialised into a weekly podcast for probably 6 months. But those are great.
I think that's probably the difference between our strikers, because Ross Hannah, Ross and Podge were probably very similar. I'm there getting bumped around and getting knocked out. And then them two are just playing nicely and just running through everybody and scoring in the box.
It's funny you should say that. In the Eastleigh game when we won 3-0, Ollie Palmer gets the second. You've pretty much given him it on a plate. You've run it down the left-hand side. You've really got physical with the right back and got the ball, ushered the ball inside to him. And then he's done the fancy down finish. That sums up what you just said, to be fair, that goal. Do you remember that? Do you remember doing that?
I do, but that was part of my game. I either score or try and assist as much as possible and try and bring players and lads into play and get goals. Ultimately, I want to win. Yeah,
and that's what we're hoping to see a bit more about the current Grimsby side. Now we've got Andy Cook back in there. We've got some other young lads in there learning the trade and doing some of the quick stuff. But it's something we've seen over the last few years is people on their own, struggling to do a lot with not much. And I mean, fairness to him, Danny Rose, who was absolutely superb for us, did a great job doing that. But at times you just felt sorry for him and that he needed a bit of help at times. Would you agree with that, guys? Would you say that was a fair thing, that we've missed the physicality up front at times?
Yeah, I think we've already had Danny there, haven't we? Like I say, for recent times, but it does always help when you have either two up top or someone just sitting behind, which we haven't really had that for a while. But obviously now you got Cookie up top, he's pretty shit house anyway when he wants to be. So he does the job. Yeah.
So in that Bristol Rovers game, could you tell? I'm sure there's a fairly obvious answer to this, but could you tell the importance to the town fans and the people who long-term people of Grimsby Town, how important it was for us to get back in the league?
Yeah, definitely. And I knew that when I signed, to be fair, the season before. 100%. I mean, the turnout, you spoke about the 55 being there, but the turnout from the Grimsby fans and having that many was incredible. Yeah. And we all knew that. We really did. And the support was amazing.
Captain Diz talked about a bond between particularly the away following and the lads when they're on the trips to some of these smaller grounds and what have you. How was that like for you as a player when you're trying to turn your best out for the club?
No, it's again the support is. There's only probably two clubs that I've said that away fans and the way you travel is amazing, and that's yourselves and York probably. That it really does help, and I think it comes out in the results, to be honest. And if you give all like the town fans want, then they're going to give you back exactly what you're receiving. So it is important, and it was so nice, and it did help us for sure. Yeah,
I've always felt that about town fans, that we can probably stomach not winning, but if we know you've pulled your guts out to have a go for us, we're a pretty forgiving bunch. In most cases, but in that season you didn't have that much, and it was really that pipped by penalties is probably the most galling way to end the season, knowing that you've got to do it all over again. As luck would have it, we did it all over again, and we got there eventually. But you left at the end of that. Was that because of the end of your contract, or what was the story? Did you?
No, yeah. So I got offered. OST wanted me to stay for sure, but just staying in the league for me personally was the biggest thing. Honestly, it wasn't monetary, because I could have stayed, and I'll be honest, I would have got more. But I wanted to kind of progress my career and just go that higher into the league. Half could say I rushed it, but that was the decision I made. Yeah, like I'd had the best time, and it was just about me, just trying to get into the league and then progress again.
But when it's an English stalwart legend like Terry Butcher that's after you to sign you, it must be pretty difficult to turn down.
Yeah, but look, there was that. There was, again, it was more so obviously his experience and being under him and seeing what that could bring. But again, it was just being higher and just trying to prove myself. I think everywhere I've gone, I've just always feel like I'm trying to prove myself, and that's for myself, not anyone giving me that. Yeah. So I wanted to prove myself in the league and get those goals and do well. Yeah,
I think that's fantastic, because that's the responsibility lies with you to put pressure on yourself, doesn't it? And I think that's a great attribute for a footballer to have, because I'm not sure everybody has it, but Terry Butcher said he'd watched you play at Wembley. He said you've been impressive all season, good number of goals and great energy levels. So, like I said, coming from somebody who's literally given blood for his country, that must be quite an accolade. And we've spoken to others that went to Newport afterwards. We must have started to hate Newport County for stealing our strikers. Stole Podge as well, didn't they? After, although I don't think we helped when we tried to. Well, one of our number, i.e. the guy that was in charge, didn't help. I don't mean Hursty. So
what do you mean, Dave?
Sorry.
What do you mean, Dave?
I don't like saying his name.
Big Chief.
Yeah, we don't like saying his name. We don't speak of him anymore.
Anyway, we haven't got him anymore.
We haven't got him anymore, as the song says. Yeah. So how did you find Newport? I mean, Podge speaks highly of Newport. How was your experience at Newport?
It was up and down, to be honest. obviously it didn't start well in terms of the management and results. I was playing and it's what I was doing, what I wanted to do, sorry. So family had moved down and I mean, we was there on our own, which was, you could say it was difficult, but it didn't start well. And then it just kind of probably went down in terms of injuries for me. Had one of the biggest injuries that I've had in my career. So I think from that, it was difficult. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just going to ask, sorry, Dave, about injuries. Have you had quite a lot of injuries, or for your career, or?
I've had a few. So the biggest one, to be fair, was that at Newport. I did my ACL.
Nasty.
Not so bad.
And then came back from that, went to Shrewsbury, and then a year in, just after Hursty left, I did my other ACL. So I came back from that one then. Actually, just before that, I ruptured my hamstring just before I did my second ACL. So they were the three probably main ones that I've had. But I've come back and I'm just, proud and pleased to still be playing.
Fortunate to be a player in the era that we're in that, 20 years ago, an ACL would have finished you, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's amazing now what can happen. Not coming back from one, but two, and the nasty hamstring. We might ask what's holding you together these days. You're still there, still doing it.
What does that actually do mentally to you? Like, does it affect you mentally a lot, or is it I need to get back in track once your injury's supposed to come to an end and you're in that recovery stage? Do you then just think, right, I need to crack on now and get on back on the horse and just carry on as normal, or is it still in the back of your head thinking, it's going to happen again?
It's interesting. It takes a long time. It does. It takes a long time to really trust your body again. Trust the rehab that you've done, because both injuries, both times I did it, all three of them, there was no one around me. It was turning. One was a shot in terms of my hamstring, but the ACLs, I was just turning. No one around me. So it's again trusting your body again. The more minutes you're on the pitch, the more times you're playing, and having that physical battle and contacts and stuff like that. It helps in terms of the mental side of it for sure. Yeah.
I guess having Dave Moore as your physio helps you not stay down injured for very long.
Do you know what, Moro? I learned so much of Moro. He's unbelievable.
He's a great player.
What a guy. I genuinely learned so much of Moro. He's absolutely brilliant.
We had him on, didn't we? And he remembers all his goals he scored.
Yeah, so most of them are in training.
In training, yeah. When he played.
We found a 30-yarder from him playing for Blackpool on Match of the Day. So
yeah.
He was, believe it or not, he said he had a nosebleed that day. So you head for Shrewsbury after that, and that's to reconvene with the aforementioned Mr. Hurst again, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, it was. That back in the Newport season, I just made it back after my ACL. I think I played 4 games, and to be honest, I didn't know where I'd go. You've been out for injury for so long, playing 4 games, and obviously no one probably knows what you're going to be like coming back from such a big injury. So I did. I gave Hursty a call and asked him what his thoughts were, and he was honest as he always has been. That's why I probably get on so well. And yeah, signed for Shrewsbury and went in for a medical and did all that and signed for Shrewsbury. Yeah, again, what an unbelievable first season we had.
Yeah.
This is TNT Sports, Adam Summerton, and you're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
Welcome back from that first part of the interview with Lenny. Yeah, really, really interesting to hear about his the early part of his career, and it certainly intrigued me how he'd end up as a kind of a northern footballer, being Hammersmith born, but he sort of cleared that one up. And I'm pleased he was, because I think he was pretty well liked at Town, and a pretty good bunch of cult figure. Good few goals for us as well. And for the second striker running as a guest on this podcast, had the best spell of his career at Town in terms of goal scoring, as did Podge. Back to the action. Today, the Mariners went to Crawley, probably needing a win to stay in the promotion hunt. As we said before the break, Steve, must-win game, which you don't like, but you submitted that it probably was. Looking at the way some of the other results have gone, There's one team in particular who didn't win today, who are in the same position points wise that Town would have been had they not won, and yeah, they look pretty much out of it now. 6 points out of the playoff places. That's Walsall, by the way. And I think we'd have been the same, but we came out looking pretty bright today. Thought the lineup was the same lineup as Friday.
Apart from one player.
One player. There was Ador came in, didn't he? For Walker. Walker, yeah. And I was quite impressed with him early on. What do you think to Ador?
I thought he was excellent. I thought he was everywhere. He looked hungry. And I think that was a good. Don't know why he got the nod, but it's about maybe just freshen up a bit.
Well, he's had the least football, hasn't he, of most of them? Yeah,
I didn't think Walker's been great. I mean, Friday, I don't think he was that good, but just a bit more pace maybe. But yeah, he did well.
Rossi, you've oft been a fan of him this season, haven't you, Joe, when you've seen him? Do you think the same today? Did you think he was decent?
Yeah, he had a really good 66 minutes that he played. I when he first come into the squad, I saw he was on the squad. I thought, okay, fair enough, see how we get on. I did my pre-match prediction, which I always do on TikTok, and I said on that, I said I'm looking forward to see Ador. I like him in the centre of the park rather than when he first come. He got played on the right sometimes or the left as like a winger. But I do think he's played a lot better in the midfield. He's a lot more tricky. He can play decent balls through. He's very light on his feet, and I think he's a decent midfielder. We just haven't seen a lot of him this season because it's hard for him to get in the team, to be honest. And obviously, we only got him on loan from Bradford this season. I don't think he'll be here next season. I don't think we'll try and go in for him. No. I think he'll go somewhere else. I should go back to Bradford, but I think he'll leave Bradford and go somewhere permanent, probably. But no, I do like him. I think he's a good player. I did see someone on X when the lineups got announced. Someone put a door changing for Walker is like you're changing your shirt, but it's still got shit on it. And so someone's put a comment saying, "You're not being funny. You've not even seen him play yet today. So why are you putting this comment? Maybe wait until after the full time."
Yeah.
He had a worldie of a game, so that bloke can do one.
Yeah. No, he was excellent.
No, I think the same. I mean, we haven't seen enough of him to say one thing or other. I don't think he's ever described him as being totally crap. I mean, we've seen games where he's probably been anonymous when he's come on, or he's not had time to get involved too much in the game. But he's shown flashes of in the time he's at. So anyway, he started and let's say looked bright, and Town managed to get in front fairly early on in proceedings. Cabia breaking down the left hand side after 23 minutes, and went as far as he could from the wide, broke into the box, and finished from an angle. Great finish from the lad. Thoughts?
Great finish.
Yeah.
He was weak foot as well. He's obviously right-footed, not left-footed.
He slotted it though, didn't he? It was
great finish across the goalkeeper into the bottom corner, and proper striker's finished really. But I think Cabia had a worldie of a season in my eyes anyway. 18 goals now in all competitions. His first season in EFL after being 2 leagues below last season. So I think he's had a great season. It
reminded me from the angle of the finish, and that reminded me, but from opposite side of the goal to oh God, I forgot his bloody name already. Big lanky lad we had from Coventry. What's his name?
Luca.
Abiku.
Abiku.
Yeah. Abiku's finish at Bromley last year. The one that wasn't the one that rose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he didn't have to run it in the box like that, but that was from a different place. But yeah, it was just a firm finish. And Town went into that sort of back end of the first half, 1-0 in front after a great finish and having been on top. And at that point, my view is that they were rocking then. They were really in trouble. We could have probably scored 2 or 3 more in the few minutes after that. But we didn't. And then we get another chance. Ball comes across the box. It's cleared from a bit of a scrambly position in the 6-yard box out to Rogers, who basically just rifles it back in. And it's got that much power in it. I think it clipped somebody on the way through. on the line or maybe even behind the line, and then sort of bounces into the roof of the net, which made it look even better. So good finish from Harvey.
I think got 2 deflections in it.
Yeah, I think it might.
I think so, yeah.
One man in front of the box, then the person on the line as well, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's right back in the world.
But yeah, he just get thumped. It stays thumped when he hits it, doesn't it? I mean,
he had a shot a bit before that, didn't he? Which hit the side net, and he hit that one as well.
Yeah,
that would have been a nice goal as well if it was on target.
Yeah. Well, somebody must have told him to shoot this time because he never shoots. Normally,
it was. I'll tell in the stand. He can't hear him telling him not to.
Yeah, but going back to KBO, I thought it was excellent Friday.
Yeah,
I thought he was the best player on the
There's somebody moaning at us for saying that on Friday, wasn't there? Saying, "Oh, look, KB's been."
Oh, it was Sean in front of us. I think he was moaning.
Oh, I thought he was good.
He said, "No, don't do it for me. Don't do enough." Like,
not sure.
It was all over the pitch. It was brilliant on Friday, and he was today.
What do you want from the kid?
First season in Football League, and he's got done fantastic.
I think
it was a bit slow.
So go on.
I was going to say it's a bit slow to start with early in the season, but he's really come on massively.
One of the things to behold though is the change in Ross's view of Harvey Rodgers. Brilliant, I love it.
Oh, it's great, yeah.
Best right back in the world now, he says. I love it.
It is.
Yeah.
Gives Trent Alexander-Arnold a run for his money.
No, I think
he's better than him.
He's better than him because he can do both. He can attack and defend.
He's shy.
Trent Alexander-Arnold can only do one thing, and he's not a turncoat. He hasn't left at the first opportunity. He's signed again, new deal, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So 2-0, and you're thinking this could be again more and more, but we get into half time 2-0. Second half come out early on. Adores down the right hand side, gets fouled by Crawley captain. Is it Johnny Williams?
Jay Williams.
And he decides to rifle the ball in his head from close range, which is a bit uncalled for after the whistle had gone. Town players come to Adore's aid along with half the rest of the squads. The ref, Bobby Madley, as it turns out today, former Premier League ref, sent him off without
good. You can tell.
Without a thought. Yeah, I thought he was decent today. The ref was definitely better than some of the other EFL crap we've had. Straight sending off. Any questions about that? Any qualms about it?
Yeah, stupid. I can't understand what he was thinking. Captain, and he's just lost it somehow. I know. Do I look like he maybe dived a little bit, but no, he get kick the ball up something like that.
Yeah, I didn't think. I just thought, what a ridiculous way to get sent off.
Right, the right decision.
Right decision, but what a ridiculous thing to do to get sent off.
Oh, he's just let his team down, hasn't he?
Yeah. As Rossi said on Friday, the Crawley fans won't be angry with him, just disappointed.
Yeah,
that's worse than having somebody.
Like I say, as a captain as well, to lead your team and to be a role model and try and get them out of the shit.
Yeah.
And then him to do that, and I do like Jay Williams as well. I think he's a good player for Crawley, but no, he had him mad today.
That makes it more frustrating with a player like that who's clearly got a decent pedigree to let themselves down like that.
Yeah.
Plus, it lets
he's a good player, but I don't know why he's done it.
Plus, it lets
it's a strange one.
Plus, it lets Town down as well, doesn't it? Because notoriously, we don't play very well against 10 men. And I didn't think we did today, to be honest. After we had a few more chances, but Cookie had a chance where it was taken off his toe, went out for a corner. Greeny was almost put Cookie in, but the keeper managed to grab it. Much to Cookie's disgust, he's getting frustrated now, isn't he, at not scoring. I've noticed. Go on, Ross.
He was giving some shit to the players again today. When I saw on, I think it was X actually. I get everything from X. No, I shouldn't do, but I think it was on X. Apparently, was it Cookie was saying stuff to fans and players on Friday after the Harrogate game.
Yeah.
Weren't very happy, and he was gobbing off to them and whatnot. And I know a lot of fans on the X what I've seen have said that he needs to not behave like that and stuff like that. But he's going to get frustrated if he's not scoring.
Though, doesn't he? He's bothered. He wants to do well.
That Harrogate game, I mean, he missed a penalty, which he knows he walked off, and we was all watching him, and he was good. He wouldn't even look at the fans. He was good.
Yeah.
He was shaking his head.
He was at the end. He looked like
he
he was about to burst into tears at the end the other day when he was one of the players that actually came round and clapped the fans. But he looked gutted on Friday, to be fair.
And then today I think he's just desperate for a goal. I think once he gets a goal, he'll be all right. But I think his confidence was shot from Friday. Today he should have finished that 1-on-1. I don't know how he's not.
One in the first half.
The keepers fell to the floor already, slipped, and he still can't put it on target to just get the goal. All you got to do is dink him because he's already gone down.
Yeah.
You'd have put money on it, wouldn't you?
Anywhere.
You'd have put money on him scoring that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would.
If you'd have paused.
Yeah, it's in his head a bit now, isn't it? I think after Friday's penalty with some Martin Gritton was saying that in the commentary. I think he's low on confidence. He feels for him.
The other close call was Amalazor got through, and rather than shoot himself, he foolishly played in Dara Burns.
Fucking upside.
And managed to hit the post when it seemed easier to score. And that kind of that kind of sums him up, doesn't it? That
Well, he used his left foot. I think it was his left foot. Martin Gritton said again. I thought he was using the wrong foot. He should have hit it with his right foot. I think he hit it outside of his left or something. And he's trying to curl it. I don't know.
Frustrating because, like I say, if you could get a few goals, you'd have a different view of them altogether, wouldn't you? That said,
he's had a disappointing season, Burns. He's not done it really.
That said, we held out for another clean sheet. That's I think 6 out of 8 in away games for Jackson Smith, which he'll be very pleased about. Although I did think he'd turned into Christy Pym at the start of the game when he juggled that one and we managed to get it
shaky
away.
Hands.
Yeah, it looked a bit dodgy. And there was a couple of things where he'd palmed the ball into the net from the goals, felt a bit Pym-like on Friday. But no, he got back to his confident self after that. I think he rode it out, didn't he? And that's what you've got to do, isn't it? You've got to forgets what's gone before. And get after it.
Yeah, I don't think you can't really say anything about Jacko. I thought Jacko had one of his worst games at Harrogate.
Yeah,
just because there was chances there where he's like the second and the third goal, he's both got hands to, and it's just not strong enough.
Yeah,
but
I don't particularly blame him.
You can't fault him because the rest of the season has been absolutely spot on, so you can't really have a go at him.
But plus on Friday, the position he's put in, he should never be in that position with them two guys getting through.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, he got his hand on the second one, didn't he? Should have perhaps done better. Yeah. Pim would have got his hand on it. He would have been down.
Yeah, well, hopefully now he's back from injury, he might be a new man as well. But so 2 points 2 goals in the bag, 3 points in the bag, and things look a little better. The other results today: Barrow 0, Chesterfield 1, which doesn't help us very much. Cheltenham 1, Cambridge 1 helps us catch Cambridge a little bit. I'm not expecting us to get that chase done though.
Lone goal by Jake Eastwood.
Crawley 0, Town 2, was it? Oh, right, I didn't realise. I'll have to look at
Cambridge own goal in
the highlights. Crew 1, Salford 0. As I said earlier, Salford only seem to be able to do well when we don't want them to, and they don't do well when we do want them to. Fleetwood 2, Barnet 5. So Fleetwood couldn't help us out after their recent good run when they came to us ended with us, and then they've lost 1 or 2 since then, I think.
Another ex-Town player there scored.
Who's that?
Barnet. Jay Isamy.
All right.
Yep.
Is he the one that came from Norwich?
Norwich.
Yeah.
He was on loan from Norwich,
yeah.
I think that's how you say it, Jay Isamy.
We'll take your word for it. Gillingham, we realised who it was, so it can't have been that bad. Gillingham 2, Accrington 0. Gillingham's first win in 6 at least, from the form that I've looked at. Harrogate 2, Bristol Rovers 3. So Harrogate couldn't do themselves a favour today, even though they managed to on Friday. Notts County 3, Newport 1. So again, Newport struggling. Oldham 1.
Luca scored for them.
Yep. Oldham 1, MK Dons 1. So MK Dons look like they don't want to win the title. That's looking increasingly unlikely now. Oldham getting a late equaliser, which again doesn't really help Town, given that we want to be gaining as many points of them as we can. Swindon 2, Walsall 1. Swindon again win late on. It kind of half helps us in that it keeps Walsall down there, and Walsall are in the position we would have been in had we not won today on 62 points. And I think 62 at this point almost writes you off, if not mathematically, but sort of morale-wise and probably the only way you can do it is by winning all 5 or 6 games. And I think, in fact, Walsall haven't got that many games anyway. They've only got 4 games left. So they're going to get 12 more points. So they pretty much they'd have to win every game and hope for the best. Whereas Town probably could do with winning 4, drawing if they only win 4, drawing 1 or 2 of the last 6. So what's that? Tranmere 0, Colchester 1. Tranmere in deep trouble. They haven't scored a goal since Pete Wild joined. So they are only 3 points off the bottom 2 now, with Barrow and Newport hanging behind them. Newport are only a couple of points behind them. Barrow are 3 points behind them. And in fact, the bottom team are only 3 points behind them as well now. So they're 3 points off the very bottom. So any 3 of those teams could overtake them. They could see themselves bottom if their form carries on as it has. But it's been absolutely shocking since February.
We could send them down if we last game of the season.
There was one point in the season where we were exchanging places with them, so it must have been when we were in the sort of 20s of points, maybe 19, 20, 21 points, something like that. They were going above us 1 game, and vice versa. So it's been an absolute shocker since then. But you might be able to get your own back on Christian Dennis on the last game of the season for us. Bromley not played today. They're playing Shrewsbury tomorrow night, and that brings things to a close on that front. In terms of the tables, just to pull up the League 2 table. We've got Bromley on top on 80, MK Dons on 76 from 42 matches, as are Notts County. And then in the automatic places, you've got Cambridge 74 from 41, Swindon 74 from 42, Salford 73 from 42, Chesterfield 68 from 41. That completes the top 7. And then bubbling under, you've got Crewe 42 games 66, Oldham 41 games 65, Grimsby 40 games and 65, Barnet 42 games and 64. So you're really looking at one of Chesterfield, Crewe, Oldham and Grimsby for that 7th spot, in my humble opinion. Any dissent from that view?
No, you're about right.
Yeah.
I think it's us and the ones above us, yeah.
The interesting thing with Town is we're 3 points behind one of the teams we've got to play, which is one thing. And the other game in hand is against one of the teams above. But again, it's one of them. It's you're getting to the point now. It's a do or die, isn't it? So the beauty of that is there's still plenty of time for some really weird results. So bottom teams beating top teams around us. Would you a bit of look like that now?
We've got 6 games left, and we've got 4 of those are above us, aren't they?
Yeah.
You've got Crewe, Chesterfield, Swindon, Cambridge. So,
but equally, they've got games against teams that might not probably under ordinary circumstances beat them, but may beat them because of the way the league is pressured at the minute. Teams at the bottom needing to fight for their lives and what have you. Although you won't put much money on Tranmere helping you out in this week, would you?
No.
I personally think we miss out this season again, but I think we relegate Tranmere.
I think it's going to be an awfully difficult job now. I think if we do make it, it'll be an amazing effort. Yeah. But we've not given up. We've not given up. That's the main thing.
No.
We're just short of where we could be. You know what I mean? We should be 68 or 69 points. Would have been, but we'll see.
I looked at a minimum number of games earlier in the week that were games that we ought to have done better from. And I don't mean we lost that game 3-0, and if we'd have won it 3-0, would have been. I mean marginal games where. Accrington away, where we probably could have and should have won it. I think we missed a pen, didn't we, in that one? That could have been a couple of extra points. And even if you're
always going to get that through a season, aren't you?
Yeah, so but even if you just took a few of those and took the really obvious ones, like the draw at Barrow, that should have been a win. That's 2 more points. And you can find 5 or 6 points really easily amongst that lot without going too far beyond the realms of possibility. You add them points in and go, oh God, we'd be in the box seat. But maybe it's better to be chasing. Maybe Chesterfield in that box seat now are the ones that might have a wobble.
Yeah, but we've got a game in hand on them, haven't we? So we've obviously got to win that.
Yeah.
Chesterfield seemed to be going into a bit of form. Should have played them a few weeks ago.
Yes, but we had the break, didn't we? Instead, so we're really then keen to see the fixtures for the rest of the campaign, particularly Saturday. We've got Crewe, which again is a crunch match in its own right, isn't it? Because we're
oh god, it's another must-win game.
So we need to beat them. Really need to beat them.
Yeah.
Bristol Rovers, Crawley.
Is that another one though where you think when it comes to Harrogate and Crawley? Harrogate and Crawley. I have to remember what teams we had there. Is that another one though? If we don't beat Crewe, then that's it.
If they beat us, probably. Because it's a 6-pointer in that way.
We've got to make sure we don't. We've got 2 home games left. Yeah, we've probably got to win them both to make sure. Give us a chance.
Crewe and Swindon, isn't it?
2 tough games, yeah.
But Saturday brings MK
Got to make sure we beat Swindon.
MK Dons and Bromley together, Accrington and Fleetwood, Barnet at home to Barrow, so that's not much fun, is it, for us? Cambridge v Notts County, so again, that's all above us. Chesterfield at home to Tranmere. You roll your eyes, can't you?
I just can't see Tranmere doing us any favours.
No, I can't. So, Town v Crewe, Newport, Harrogate, Salford are playing Gillingham. Again, not expecting much there. Shrewsbury, Oldham. I mean, Oldham should shred Shrewsbury. Walsall, Cheltenham. So I'm not expecting there to be too much resistance to the other teams there. So we've just got to concentrate on our own game and keep pushing forward. Stay in the game, stay in the hunt.
With Chesterfield playing Tranmere, they're going to win that. Chesterfield. We've got to beat Crewe, haven't we, to keep in the hunt.
Yeah.
If we lose, then Chesterfield win. I think that could be it.
Yeah. The following week, it's Chesterfield Town, so we've got a game straight after that. You've got Barrow, Oldham away at Barrow. Cheltenham, Gillingham.
The thing is, Barrow aren't even doing that bad at the minute now.
No, they're not.
We beat them, and then
we've got beat today.
Picking up,
not
bad, bad results against the top end teams.
Yeah, they could end up staying up. Barrow. Yeah. Tranmere and Harrogate to go down.
Well, then on the Saturday after, you've got another set of games. Walsall at Barrow, which we're not too worried about now. Swindon, Accrington, Cheltenham, Newport, Crawley, Shrewsbury, Crewe, MK Dons. Now that could be helpful to us if MK Dons can help us out. If we can beat Crewe before that would help as well. Chesterfield away at Fleetwood. They offered a little resistance today.
It's not an easy game.
It's not an easy
Fleetwood
game.
are doing all right.
Lost today.
Lost today, but they are doing all right.
We're away at Gillingham, Harrogate, Colchester, Notts County, Barnet. That's a bit of a crunch. So Notts County could help us out a little bit there. Oldham, Salford. Now we need Salford to win one of these games, or at least keep them back. And Tranmere, Bristol. So but there's opportunities, isn't there, for points to be lost above us.
And Crewe's got the hardest running, hasn't he?
Yeah. So us beating them will help massively. Chesterfield seem to have one of the easier ones. However, they've got to play us. If we can do well against us, we can do well against them rather. That could help as well. So that's where we are with the league. Any more comments on league table positionings or anything like that? Quick look at the bottom. Who's your favourites to go down? By that I mean, who do you think
Tranmere could go down? Tranmere and Harrogate.
Tranmere, Harrogate. Rossi?
I'm sticking to what I said before, just because I'm not going to go back on my word.
Harrogate, Newport.
I said Crawley.
Oh, Crawley.
No, Crawley, Barrow.
Crawley, Barrow.
Yeah, I stuck with that ages ago, and I'm going to stick with it still.
All right, okay. Interesting. We shall see. So moving on then. This week there's been some other news around the club. First things first. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday last week. My Energy were announced as next year's training kit sponsors. I thought they're either taking over both or they're just switching and somebody else is coming in. Now that's the next bit of news. But yeah, they're taking over as the training sponsor. So that meant that next season the new front of shirt sponsors, so this bit is going to be Black Crow Engineering. And I think from what I understand, they're both fairly lucrative sponsorship deals for the club and are worth a fair bit. We've picked up quite a bit of money from the shirt sponsors, as we know. Winner Chicken Dinner being quite a lucrative one on the back of the shirts, and next year's one's Black Crow being on the front. And it's good to see these deals being done early, and it kind of gives you that impression that the club's on the ball with stuff, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Local company again, been around for quite a few years, haven't they? Yeah, so it's good news, and My Energy's still involved as well, aren't they?
I think they wanted to be. I think their financials, as they grew really quick in their early phase, and I think during that they had a bit of a stumble, but that's part of growing fast that caught up with them a little bit. But they're obviously keen to stay involved and stay on the training kit, which is great news. And Black Crow was part of their showing off during the announcement was the new covers for the gates at the Osman end of the ground and the Constitutional Avenue corner. We noticed over the last week or two the white spindly top bits having Grimsby Town in nice white cut out letters on the top, which look really smart. Since then, during the advert, you can see them doing some laser cutting of a big sheet of metal. When it came to it, they on the screen was the town badge, and they've basically built these two giant town badges and stuck them to the gate, which is fantastic. And they're really, really smart, aren't they, Steve?
Yes, yeah, we had a photo shoot, didn't we, outside them?
Did you get to see them, Ross? Have you seen them close up?
I've seen them, yeah. So I'm on Friday.
Yeah, pretty smart.
Does look smart, even with the gate with the Grimsby Town on top. Anyway, it looks smart.
It did, yeah.
It's just nice to see them doing something different to the ground, and it just look like a normal gate, and it's boring and whatnot. Now it looks a bit more involved. So no, it's good. I wish they'd do something like that around the other side though.
Yeah,
at the main stand area. Oh, Jesus Christ, it needs a bit of a touch up.
Maybe that's in the plans. They're always trying to improve stuff, aren't they? So
you can't do it at the pontoon end of the ground because you wouldn't see it for the coats of all the stewards, would you? Because they're too many in the way. We got there over the last few matches, and there's been like a line of about 5 stewards on the gap between the corner of the houses and the big gates at the other end. You think you've got to dodge between them to get. Saturday they had a row of 8. There was a 5. They were going 5-3. They only need a couple more. They can go 3-5-2, can't they?
I mean, you said that. You just need a couple more up top. You've got a team.
Yeah,
I don't know why they're there. Stop.
Madness.
They don't do anything.
A lot of people have been moaning, though, haven't they, about pontoon stewards?
There's not a lot to moan about that, to be honest. Other than that, it just looks totally unnecessary. The real challenge for me is this business around. Well, on one hand, stoking up a big atmosphere, and on the other hand, they've got these people like stopping people out. From what I understand, it is people standing in stairwells that's the issue, rather than them stopping people or people standing where they shouldn't be. But it's a difficult balance. But yeah, you don't want to get too heavy-handed with home fans, do you? Not when you're trying to create an atmosphere.
I understand the atmosphere kind of part of it. Obviously, you shout and chant as much as you want. And by the way, them clappers on Friday, I think it's an absolute fucking load of woke nonsense. I don't know why do we need them?
Yeah.
To me, I just don't see the point. We've just set up a bar of records about money wise, and you're wasting money getting them in.
The crowd
we don't need them.
The crowd was up anyway Friday.
You don't need stuff like that.
I think the thing is.
Wasting money.
Only thing I would say for the club is they've got to try stuff, and it might be try it and fail it. Probably won't do it again. But businesses that do well try stuff and fail it quickly. And if it's not the right thing, then get it out. Yeah. What it does show is it shows that positivity of the club to always be pushing to try and improve. And if something's crap, you knock it off. As Polly shared her own story. About we can't just have fish and chips all the time. Let's put on a nice big buffet on. I love that.
Oh yeah.
Take away our fish and chips.
And take our fish and chips away from us, please. Yeah.
But it's an open-minded, fail-fast policy.
Again, it was the Black Road was on the Clapper thing, wasn't it? If you opened it up,
Yeah.
So it's their part of their new sponsorship, and I don't know how they paid for it. If they paid for it, or I don't know. But you don't need stuff like that for the atmosphere. We could create our own.
Shouldn't do, should you?
No, you still got it.
Invisibility cloak.
Mine's in the recycle.
Might even pick one up.
Mine's in the recycle.
I was in my seat. It sat on the floor next to me. I didn't even touch it.
Mine's an accordion.
I get why they're doing it, but I just think like if there's going to be an atmosphere because of chanting and people shouting and everything else, then there will be. If there isn't, then there isn't. You can't force people to try and make noise when.
No, you don't need that shit like that. To be honest.
Yeah, and
I found it quite handy. I found it handy for hitting Sean on the head in front of us. He annoyed me.
They're ringing the number.
If you're listening, Sean.
I think one thing is case is that there was no doubt in anybody's mind that the fans were right up for it, and the players needed to show something from that. And whilst they tried, as you say, it didn't come off. So that's the sort of pre-Easter break stuff. Other sort of football bits and bobs. Weekend, so John McAtee got sent off. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, he does have a look at the guy, but I didn't think he really stuck the elbow up or anything. He just let him run into him. I don't think they're lying it. I thought it was just a bit of a nonsense sending off.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't even see him really put an elbow out. It kind of both jumped for it.
It was the fact that he looked at the bloke first to see him coming, but he's quite within his rights to stay where he is and let the bloke run into him. But because
he has put a statement out after. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, he said it was purely accidental or whatever.
Yeah, he said meant nothing by it. It might look worse than it does on camera, but he said nothing was meant by it. Which, even look at it, and I thought I kept looking at. I looked over and over and again.
Well, the first clip, I didn't see him. I didn't see him look. That's the only thing you can put against him, that he actually looked at the bloke, and he wasn't really looking at the ball. But he didn't go to attack the bloke. He just let him run into him.
No, I don't really see much in it. I don't think it was a red, really. Yeah, though, probably, but
yeah. So, on that, any other business, any other issues around the place this week before we call it a day?
Well, I see. Was it? I forgot his name. Seller Fleming.
Yeah.
Gone back to Hull.
Oh, is he?
Yes, yes.
Oh, I didn't know.
He was on the commentary today. He's gone back injury.
Oh, right. Okay.
Apparently.
All right.
So
he's still in our books, though, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah, they said that today. Yeah, he's still on the books. He's still an active loan. But he's come back to get treatment, so he could still come back if we need him.
Got you.
Yeah.
Swindon's 12:30 now. Swindon game on the 25th of April has been selected by Sky. It was interesting because Swindon, the day before it was announced, had said we're not going to put tickets on sale till we know when it is. So they didn't have a load of admin issues around people then not being able to go. But it does make it quite difficult for them.
Andrew Pettit was saying, in his interview today, about the games being brought forward, the times and that, and they get good notice. Sky will give good notice, but then towards the end of the season, when it's a crunch game,
they don't.
It gets a bit close to the kick-off, which it's only, is it 3 weeks away?
It's only 3 weeks away.
Yeah, so because it's Swindon and they're in playoffs and Holloway and all that, he can understand it. It's just...
well, he gets more money out of it than he does not. So,
yeah.
And I noticed from the accounts, they were saying that the sort of in-house iFollow thing was 45% down on takings this year, but that's been made up for by the deal. The other thing to note it's only just a few weeks away, Tranmere tickets went on sale. And they were starting to get snapped up quickly. You guys have got yours, I take it.
Yes, yeah. I have 2 tickets.
It could be an all-in game. It could all be over by then.
How many have we sold? At
least 1,000, wasn't it? And there was another
sold
1,000
out.
on top.
Well, the 1,000 have sold out.
Yeah,
because someone put a picture on Facebook in the club shop. They've got a bit of stuff on the desk. It says Tranmere's sold out 1,000. We're waiting for the other 1,000 to be sorted, basically. So it'll sell out. It'll go.
It will, yeah.
Yeah,
We'll be there. We'll be there, Ross.
Yeah, we'll.
Yeah, and I'll be watching from Somerset. We're having a barbecue apparently, so
Well, I mean,
I'll make up for it a little bit.
If you manage to have got it off, Dave, I've got you a ticket because I have actually got a spare ticket.
Oh no, that's just rubbing salt in that.
So you don't feel well enough to travel all the way to Somerset.
I'm driving. I'll be made to be well enough. Don't you worry. There'll be murders happening if we don't go down there. So we've got the predictions from Friday was I said Harrogate. We beat Harrogate 2-1. Steve said we beat him 1-0. Miraculously and very optimistically, Rossi said we'd beat him 2-0. None of us said Greeny to score. Crawley game today, I said 2-1 Town. Steve said 1-0 Town, and Rossi said 1-1 draw. So Steve and I get a point for the right outcome. Rossi gets the right result for the goal scorer. Cabia, first goal scorer. So you get the points for that. And that leaves the table after 29 games that we've been doing this. Ross is on top with 29 points. I'm second on 25, and Steve's in third on 25. Or joint second, Steve. We'll let you have joint second.
Otherwise known as bottom.
Otherwise, aka bottom, yeah. So that's the predictions table. We're going to planning some enhancements for that next season. But looking ahead, we've got another guest in the can and other guests lined up in the background. So watch this space. But in the week, you can see the second part of Lenell John-Lewis's interview, which is well worth a look. The recent batch of interviews we've done with Podge, with Macca, have gone down really well, and we've received some really, really good feedback and numbers of viewers that have seen it. So if you haven't seen it, have a look. If you have seen it and you loved it, tell your friends. We've got some other good stuff lined up. Ben Chapman is coming up next after we've done the Lenny episodes. Ben came in to talk us about his career at Town, his relatively short career at Town, with the fact that as a young lad he managed to play against the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal in our Worthington Cup, as it was at the time, matches. So that was an interesting one. That'll be out in the next batch of interview episodes. And on that note, we shall leave it there and say again, in an Easter way, up the Mariners!
Up the Mariners.
Up the Mariners.
Up the Chuffy Mariners. Thank you for watching or listening to tonight's show. You can catch us on YouTube, podcasts on Podbean or Apple Podcasts. You can also find us on our social media channels of Instagram, Twitter, or X as it's now known, TikTok and Facebook. Please like, subscribe and share at every opportunity. It helps us a lot.